Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk The Leftovers. I feel like last episode gave us one of the most lost, reminiscent moments of this entire series. And I feel like it's one of the first times on this show where the writers are deliberately screwing with us, the audience. And I'm not complaining, but it is... Here, let me explain. End of episode 1 of this new season, we had this crazy reveal of an older Nora, possibly in Australia. I say Australia because she's cycling past fields of sheep. She ends up talking to this nun at this church, this old stone church. The nun's got an Australian accent. We don't say for sure it's Australia. It could be Australia, but Nora's like collecting messages from carrier pigeons. Don't know what's going on, but it's years in the future. She's going under the name Sarah. We don't know why, but it's an odd cliffhanger reveal at the end of the episode. It's a new mystery. And then at the end of episode 2, we're on an older gentleman. He's a chief of police in a small town. His name's Kevin, and he's been tracked down by these women who have apparently read the Book of Kevin, written by Matt, and you start questioning: is this actually our Kevin from Jarden, from Mapleton? Has he moved to Australia? It's possible that he's moved to Australia because Kevin Sr. went to Australia 3 years after the Great Departure. So we're questioning: is this actually Kevin? Has he moved? Has he gotten old? I mean, it certainly isn't the actor, but you know what I mean. Like, could this be him? And then it turns out, no, it's not him. We're not in the future. But we just killed this Kevin, the chief of police. We drowned him like a witch right outside Kevin Sr.'s house. So it makes that Nora reveal at the end of episode 1 even more of a non sequitur. What on earth is that all about? The Nora non sequitur kind of made us feel like, oh, okay, maybe we're going into the future a bunch this new season. We haven't done that yet again. So... we haven't done that again yet. Anyway, we knew Kevin Sr. was in Australia. We knew he was heading that way the last time he spoke in person to Kevin Jr., still in Mapleton. And we've also seen him a couple of times in Kevin's visions when he's gone to the hotel through the television, when, you know, Kevin Sr.'s on some psychedelic drug trip and Kevin's, in limbo, or whatever we want to call it. He's in the limbo hotel, or the Hotel California, or he's in the process of dying, but he's not ready yet, or whatever. They've spoken then. But we ended last episode with Kevin Sr. And what has this crazy old man been up to? And what's his mission? I feel like we set up so much in season 1 with him, and then he just sort of went away. But we've talked about Australia an awful lot on this show without ever actually going there. So until the end of last episode. So maybe finally we're going to catch up with Kevin Sr. I think that'd be cool. Otherwise, we just have to go back to Jarden and talk about Kevin being not the Messiah necessarily, but a new prophet. Matt and Michael and John seem to think that he could be. They've all got biblical names too, though, so that's an interesting layer to all of this. Kevin doesn't want that. Kevin's just going about his daily, which includes nearly killing himself every time. Odd things going on. We found out what happened with Lily. Christine came back to claim her, and Nora's been dealing with that over the last couple of years. But I don't yet know where this season is going per se, except for the fact that the 7-year anniversary of the departure is less than 2 weeks away. And I don't know whether this whole season's going to fit into that time span, whether we're going to culminate in the 7-year anniversary, or whether that's going to happen much sooner in the storyline, and then we have to deal with the aftermath yet again, whatever the aftermath may be. If anything happens, it's going to happen in Jarden. Anyway, let's jump into it, guys. This is episode 3 of season 3, and it's called Crazy White Fella Thinking. I don't think you can say the thinking with a G after saying white fella. Let's find out. New music.
Someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares.
Lounge music version of Depeche Mode. What an interesting choice.
Your own personal. Jesus.
Where are we now? Oh, is that Kevin Sr.? Are we back in Mapleton? Is this October 14th?
Help them! Go and help them! They're gonna drown! Pull over! They're not coming up!
They'll come up.
Please, Dad, please pull over!
Oh, it's young Kevin.
Ducks go down, ducks come up. This is the natural order of things, son.
And there you have it, folks. The ducks are alive and well. Kevin Garvey Jr. reporting.
Oh. Oh, so he's just got a directional mic. That's what that's about. They must know he's there. He's not that hidden. Oh, okay. Cool. He doesn't seem to be respecting that sign, unless he's welcome. Oh, so he wants to do the ceremony too.
Puyane, puyane, pukanyaki bapane. Puyane, puyane.
What are you doing?
Preventing the apocalypse. What are you doing?
He's got a mission.
This is a song line.
Is it?
You can go. You don't get to keep that.
No
Where's
tape.
the tape?
What's on the tape is stolen. You took it without permission.
It says Niagara 81. Please, it's me and my kid from a long time ago.
How long after he, like, how long has he been doing this? Is this early in his time? And looks like he's been doing a lot. He's like working his way along this entire song line. I don't know exactly what that
Why did
means, but
Travis want to kill the president?
Travis didn't want to kill anyone. He's not real. John is real, and that's how he got the idea.
So John killed the president because he saw it in a movie?
Tried to kill the president.
Why?
talking about Travis Bickle, Taxi
He's
Driver,
Crazy, Kevin.
because he's crazy. That was the attempted assassination of Reagan, right? Early 80s.
I'm looking for a friend, Christopher Sunday. Maybe you have an address for him.
You need to talk to Sharon. She's a liaison to the indigenous community.
I'm a member of the indigenous community.
How are you now?
May I see some ID?
Unfortunately, I lost it. But I can tell you the return address. One Matthew Jameson, Miracle, Texas.
Matt's sending him stuff.
You know the best-selling book of all time?
The Bible. Is it the Book of Kevin?
I reckon it's the Bible.
It's the
You
sequel.
reckon right, my friend. And that there
Is the sequel.
is the goddamn sequel.
Matt sending the Book of Kevin. That's why the women that drowned the cop knew it. Oh, Matt's sending him cash and what? Just picking out a random page. What on earth is he up to? He's not even reading it. You still got the Nat Geo. He's going to Cairo. Ah. He's redlining it. He's giving it an edit? Maybe the early days?
Holy shit.
He's not being a responsible editor. It's all wrong. Is that little Noah?
Frank Johnson.
Yes.
Are you sure this isn't the former police chief of Mapleton, New York? Because I know Matt would want to talk to him. I'm taking Noah to the park.
You want me to come?
Not when you have important work to do, Matt.
Yeah, she's over this.
I'm sorry?
I'm not in it.
The book is about what's happening to your son. You know, if he were in Australia...
I don't want him in Australia. I am not a part of Kevin Jr.'s story. He's a part of mine. He's the one who guided me here.
Telling him would not be a good idea. He needs to just go through his life. But knowing any of this would not be in his best interests.
Okay, so we're back in time a little bit.
To pick up some scuba gear. Because if I fail down here, you are going to be under a fuck of a lot of water, shithead.
A great flood coming?
Go fuck yourself, Matt.
He's such a wild card. Shit ton of water. The water symbolism in this series, man. Is it going to last for 40 days and 40 nights? It's no coincidence that Matt's son is named Noah. Yeah, he does not care about that manuscript. But we're going to the cultural center, I guess. Whoa, we're just... No. Wrong. Fuck.
Don't know you, mate.
I sure hope not.
Oh, he's wanted for questioning.
I'm looking for a clever man named Christopher Sunday. I'm only interested in his wisdom, his counsel, nothing else.
I'd have to accompany you.
I wouldn't want it any other way.
It seems that Chris lives in a
Aware
community
of
just a
this
few.
man.
I'd like you to hear my side.
Theft of creation songs. Under no circumstances should this man be given access to tribal elders.
I am trying to fucking save these people.
Save them from what? Oi!
Such a wild card. Ah. I love it. They've got him in a ute. Christopher Sunday. Have we heard that name?
Chris, it's a real honor to meet you. I am Kevin, totem of the bush snake.
You scared?
I am.
Of what?
And I started doing what the voices told me. The last thing they told me was to leave, to go to Australia. A little specificity would have been nice, but... So I said, fuck yeah, I want to talk to God. And I wake up 2 weeks later in a hotel room in Perth.
That's when we talked to Kevin.
And I have no fucking memory how I got there or what happened while I did.
Oh, so he doesn't even remember talking to Kevin.
God did not talk to me.
You spoke to your son. Maybe your son is God.
And do you know what I saw on that TV, Chris? A chicken. A small town, only 14 people, but all of them vanished, even the animals.
Oh, it's like the absolute opposite of Jarden.
Except for one thing.
A chicken.
An egg.
An egg.
2 days later, it hatched, and they named him Tony. The guy puts the chicken in front of me and says, "What are you looking for?" I need Tony to tell me. The guy says, "Doesn't work that way." So I said, "Purpose."
This is such an awesome monologue.
In that very minute, Tony jumped up on my pack and starts pecking. This.
His son.
I took him on a road trip to Niagara Falls. And he just about drove me nuts. Put it in the player and waited for one last voice to tell me what to do.
You have to sing it.
Oh, come on.
You have to, or it won't stop.
We're safe.
Please, Daddy, just sing it.
Just sing. Niagara Falls. It's all about water.
Climbed up the water spout.
Prevent the flood. I would have been 8 in 81 as well. Okay. And the rain stops.
The rains will come, and with them, a great flood. I have to sing to make it stop.
Which is why he's working his way along the songline.
I've had to learn it piece by piece. Every sacred site, every ceremony, every word.
You want my song?
It's the last one. You are the only man alive who knows it.
My song is Bring the Rain, not stopping. You want to stop the flood? Start there.
Well, it's, you know.
Oh, shit. Remember, we've got a deal.
No, no! Oh no, he fell on Christopher!
I tried to miss you.
Oh
Chris,
no.
can you hear me? Show a little respect for your fucking elder.
Oh, he's getting kicked out.
Fuck!
What a wild card.
But what if we get lost?
You want a real adventure, you gotta chart your own course.
He's listening to those recordings as gospel. Man.
You know it makes me feel
The rains are coming. Who's that gonna be? He's torching his car? Oh my god!
Stop! They didn't take me. Slow down, let's just talk for a
The
sec.
GR didn't take him?
They didn't take me. Would you kill a baby if it would cure cancer?
No.
That is exactly what I said.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The car.
Oh, shit.
Man, he's just... He's so chaotic neutral. He's still got his Mapleton PD hat, though. Is a Beetle that simple that you could... No. The tires are gone. If nothing else. How are you going to resuscitate that? Oh, he's just seeing what's in the trunk.
You can't stop me, asshole!
Water. You asked for water, here's your water. Oh no, the recorder. 1980s electronics, not known for being waterproof. Man, we're just doing this. Say a prayer.
Please.
So how does he get from here to where we saw him at the end of last episode? Is he going to come across a miracle spring? No. I don't know what species it is, but I'm going to say it's bad.
Buddy, I know you're my totem, but I need to eat you.
Wow, they shot that well. I mean, you just trashed your crutch, but... Oh my god, we're like... We're totally mimicking the Flash, like the start of Season 2. Getting bit by a poisoned snake. Left forearm. It's the exact same spot. What's the rest of his tattoo say? I see the DFA, but what does that mean? What do we find here? We know he's not going to die because we've seen where he is. We're getting the weird covers this episode. We Will Rock You, done by a boys' choir. He's got the one page of the Book of Kevin here. What does it say on this one page? Or is he just going to do it the editing? Or is he leaving his sort of like final message? Oh. He's in a proper... getting proper medical care. But he's in a boys' room. Oh. They gave him a catheter and everything.
Oh, no. Doctor! Oh! Oh!
Oh! Crunchy cringe.
Anybody here? I don't care what time it is. What day is it?
Could you send a photocopy of the book back to me? I gave the original.
No, I threw it away.
What?
It doesn't matter. Look, I'm gonna need your help in getting to this hospital.
Kevin.
Yeah?
Go fuck yourself.
They're building an ark. Oh my god. They're building a church, or they're converting the church to an ark? No, they're building a church and an ark. No, they're turning the church into an ark.
Boat.
Uh-huh.
For the flood. Anybody here know Christopher Sunday?
Oh, yeah, sure. We all know each other. It's a tiny country.
I know, Chris. You the fella that landed on him. He's dead.
Oh no. Oh no. How are you gonna do the final song? The song died with him.
I'm in pain, buddy.
So confused. What's going on here? Oh my god, it's going to be the frickin' book. No, it's a photo album. Never mind. Sam and Grace. Just always adopting kids. Okay. Isaiah 41. Oh, we've seen that teeter-totter. Yeah, those arthritis pills kicking in, eh? And now they're drowning the cop. Here we are.
What are you ladies up to? Come on.
I thought we might have ended there. This is awesome. We're getting more. Okay, cool.
Hello?
Hi.
You looked through my photos.
I was hungry. It was in the fridge. Nice to meet you. I'm Kevin.
I just killed a man.
Okay.
Because she's searching for a
I'll turn
Kevin,
myself in tomorrow.
who's a small town cop. And she just found
The other
Kevin.
ladies you saw, they had nothing to do with it.
Your family's gone?
Yes. I was in town. I knew what it was the moment it happened. The rapture. I finally made it home the next night. I already knew the chapel would be empty before I set foot inside.
They all went, her whole family. But who were the people he saw building the ark? Or was that a vision?
I felt so blessed. For 2 years I spread his word. Then I received a phone call. The remains of 5 children.
What?
They had no way of knowing if I was ever coming home, or if I had simply vanished like their father had.
Oh.
So they set out on foot.
Oh no. So they weren't taken.
I never even considered searching for them. If I had.
She would have found him. Oh my god, it's heartbreaking. The guilt.
I took the cross from the chapel to mark the place where they died.
Oh, God. That's where I found you.
The place where I found you.
How does she have the Book of Kevin?
This was in your hand. That tells of a man who drowned and passed into the land of the dead, who freed them from their pain and rose again. So I went to him, to Kevin, and I asked for his help. And when he refused, I drowned him because I thought he'd come back.
So she's
to help
basically
me talk to my children.
All of this
One last time.
on the one page of scripture.
It's all just a story I told myself.
Great monologues. I love how they put two people in a room and they have one of them just be dead silent while the other bears their soul. Kevin Sr. did it with Christopher Sunday, and now she's doing it with Kevin.
I've gone a bit crazy, haven't I?
And he'll put a button on it with one line.
I don't think you're crazy at all.
My name's Kevin.
You just got the wrong Kevin.
I want to know what's going on back in Jarden, but I am 100% happy spending an hour in the Outback with Kevin Sr. because I missed him. I mean, he was such an interesting part of season 1. He was this absolute wild card. It's entirely possible the man's just crazy. It's also entirely possible that the universe is speaking to him. And he might be the universe's salvation if he just completes the song line. He's one away, but how does he complete it now that that Christopher Sunday is dead? I love his... Some of you have compared him to John Locke from Lost, and I think there's a lot of truth in that. It's this blind faith. It's this just acceptance of the unbelievability of what you're witnessing and going along with it. He hears these voices in his head from the moment of the departure, and for 3 years he fought it, and then he decided to start listening to the voices, and suddenly he seemed sane again. We saw that back in Mapleton, and the voices were telling him to go to Australia, and now we've caught up on his journey. He doesn't even remember talking to Kevin during his massive trip through the television and all of that, but but you know, the TV tells him to go see a chicken that's the sole survivor of a... It's kind of like the anti-Jarden. It's this town that got completely wiped out during the blip. Only 14 people, but still, you know, like the odds, I could do them, but I'm not going to do the math right now. But it's 0.98 to the 14. It's feasible, but it's probably pretty low. And he's just working his way down this song line, learning each song, stealing the song, because it is cultural appropriation, and yet he's so committed to it. He's respectful, but you completely understand the Aboriginal POV, the perspective of this guy's a threat, and then he has this accident and tumbles down the roof and kills Christopher, of all things, by landing on top of him. This isn't the first time we've referenced ladders this season, whether it's back in 1844 and it's this redhead woman and her family climbing onto their rooftop for the rapture, or whether it's this experimental technology that's pitched to Nora, which is abbreviated LADR. Here we have Kevin Sr. climbing a ladder to get onto that roof. Again, ladders onto roofs, standing on roofs, talking about Rapture. I want to know what's up with the Ark. Did Kevin, who were those people building it? Did Kevin actually see that, or was that a vision in his post-poison moments? It felt real, but it also felt like the people he was talking to were the adult versions of Grace's adopted children, who would all be dead out in the flats. Grace's story was tragic. She just assumed her entire family had been taken. And so she felt good about that. She felt at peace with that. So she didn't search. But the kids had been abandoned because Mom was off in the city, Dad disappeared. The kids have no communication with the outside world, so they have no reason to expect that Mom's coming back. They're freaked out. And they leave, and they don't make it. I mean, and that realization 2 years later, it's terrible. So terrible. But if they didn't die in that particular spot, she would have never found Kevin. And yet she found Kevin with this one piece of scripture from the Book of Kevin. That gave her enough sense of purpose that she had to go find Kevin, the local cop, and beg him for help, and drown him to prove her worthiness. She just killed the local cop, and now she's found a cop named Kevin, except he's the one that came with the message. So does that kill the meaning, or does that just prove the purpose? Well, according to Kevin Sr., it proves the purpose of him being there. This is his journey, and it's all part of this predestined path. We can find meaning wherever we want if we look hard enough and we're willing to distort our perspective enough. Or maybe the blip happened at like 10:30 a.m. in Mapleton. I feel like it was late morning. And East Coast is 5 hours behind Greenwich Mean Time, and Australia is 9 or 10 hours before, so the time difference is only about 14 or 15 hours, which could put us onto the 15th, but I feel like it would just put us onto the 15th, like, you know, shortly after midnight, late at night, early in the morning, not when she would be in a store buying Weetabix. Nevertheless, I'll let that slide. Hollywood writers aren't known for geographic accuracy, unfortunately. Yeah, I could take a ton more Kevin Sr. He's such a wild card. He's such an interesting character. The actor is awesome. He's so into the role. He embodies this character so well. I feel like he's been out. I don't feel like he's got that sun-baked exterior because of a morning in the makeup trailer. I feel like he spent years wandering the desert searching for wisdom as part of his research for this role. I feel, you know, like the man's halfway to looking Aboriginal with his crazy beard, and yeah, you know, he's just so sun-baked at this point. It's so curious to see what happens next in Australia, and I'm afraid that we're not going to touch on that story for a while, or maybe we're in Australia for the duration. I don't know. I think it's fascinating that Matt's been in touch with Kevin Sr. this whole time. To what end exactly? Was Matt just looking for a proofreader for this book? Because it didn't seem like that's something that Kevin would have wanted to do. I mean, like, he basically just said, this is all bullshit. This is my book. This isn't my son's book. He's the one that gave me purpose, but my purpose is the thing that matters. You're focusing on the wrong one. So his message at the end to Grace is especially poignant because Matt got the wrong Kevin too, at least in his eyes. He's the hero of his own story, and it's his mission which will save the world from the coming flood. Everyone must be up on the water symbolism by now. It's so. I mean, it's being beaten over our heads. It was subtle in season 2, but by now it's just, yep. This is about water. This is about flooding. This is about baptism and being reborn from the water and starting floods and starting the rains and stopping floods and leaks from the roof and torrential downpours and 40 days and 40 nights and I'm eager for more. I hate that we're on the last season. I wonder whether the creators knew when they knew this show was going to stop. Did it get properly canceled, or did they say, you know what, we can tie it up in 3 seasons? I feel like it's such a ripe world for exploration that there easily could have been more seasons if the show had found its audience and was profitable and had the numbers. But not all shows find their audience, unfortunately. But I'm hooked. I'm loving it. I'll take every episode I can get, and I'll be back next week with another one. So until then, everybody, take care, stay healthy. I'll see you soon. Cheers.